Okay, we're going to pick it up where we left off last time and work some more of these equations. Now, on number 5, right here, this is a double angle equation. You cannot go through and divide through by that 2. That 2 is trapped because he's part of the angle. So don't think you can come in here and divide by 2. Not yet. You have to get rid of the cosine part. So let's go ahead and just treat that thing like it was just a regular x there. And then at the very end, we will divide by 2. So anytime you have a number or something happening to your angle, that happens at the end. So down here on number 7, it's going to be the same thing because you have 2x. Do that at the last step. Now think, you've got square root of 3 and 2. Is that familiar? I hope so. Square root of 3 and 2, that is a special right triangle. So you actually get to draw triangles. You need to ask yourself, where is cosine positive? Because that's a positive square root of 3 over 2. Cosine is positive here in first quadrant and down here in fourth quadrant. And cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now that means that the other side is 1. Now if I label that thing like that, what is the angle? Opposite the 1 is always 30 degrees. And that's what you're after. And you only have to do one of these triangles because again, it'd be in the same thing. So that's 30 degrees and this is 30 degrees down here. The question is, you know the top one's 30 degrees. You got to take 360 over here and subtract 30 from it. Okay, so we're going to get 330. Now you finally got rid of the cosine. You've got 2x. Don't leave him until you get this 2 off of it. Come through and divide through by 2. Now we've got 15 here. And I do believe that is 165. Yes, it is. Oops, not an equal sign. I need a comma. Okay, 165, and these are degrees. There we go. That's my 2 answers. All right. For tangent of x to be positive 1. All right, I know with 1s it's kind of confusing. Remember, if it's sine and cosine, that's going to be unit circle. But for tangent, cotangent, that's going to be triangles. Because tangent, you get a 1 when you're doing a 45-degree triangle. Now this is a positive 1. Tangent is positive in first quadrant and in third quadrant. Remember, 1, square root of 2. So that's a 45. So you have to do a 45 down here as well. You're trying to figure out what those 2 angles are. So remember, this is 180 and you go 45 more. So add them and you get 225. There we go. Alright, number 7. You see this front 2, the negative 2, that you can divide out. You can't touch this 2x right here. He's trapped by the cosine. So cosine 2x is equal to negative square root of 3 over 2. Alright, very similar to what we had before. What's different is that this says negative. Where is cosine negative? Well, that would be in second and third. Alright, cosine is again adjacent over hypotenuse. Well, the 1 is still over there. So that's still going to be 30 degrees. So you got a 30-degree triangle in both places. So 180 minus 30 is 150. And 180 plus 30 is 210. Still got to come in here and divide by 2. So that's going to give me 75 degrees and 105 degrees. There's my 2 answers. Okay, last one. Come through here and subtract 2 on both sides. You get cosine squared equals 1. Take the square root. Cosine x equals plus or minus 1. Now this goes back to the unit circle. Too bad we flipped the page, so I'm probably going to need to sketch out another one. They're not too hard to draw. Remember, cosine is your first number. So I got 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1. Some of you really need to work on your unit circle because it's still a hot mess. First number is always cosine. Remember, it's ABC order. So where is the first number, a 1 or a negative 1? Here and here. So that's 0 degrees and 180 degrees. So there we go. That concludes everything that you're going to have dealing with trig equations. So you just need to practice up on those. Then it swaps into your laws. Hopefully, if you just kind of study a little bit, this part should be really easy. Nobody should miss this part. State the law of sines. Well, sine of A over A, sine of B over B, and sine of C over C. There we go. That includes all three versions. Remember, when you actually put it into use, you're only going to pick two ratios at a time to work with it. Now, law of cosines, you have three versions. You have the a squared, b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. So there's one for every letter. And you just kind of have to remember how to rearrange things. It is helpful to remember that the first part looks a lot like Pythagorean theorem. And then you're going to subtract out 2 times these two sides over here together. And then the front and the back always match. So your angle and the side of there by himself is always the same. And those tell you what you're looking for. You're either looking for this angle or you're looking for that side, whichever one it is. So you can pick the version that you actually need. Okay, this question here says, under what conditions do you have to watch for the ambiguous case in the law of sines? Okay, law of sines, ambiguous case. It only appears when you begin with one acute angle and you find an acute angle. There's your ambiguous case. So anytime that happens, that's when you have to say, ooh, you have to find that prime, remember? So if I tell you that angle A is 35 degrees and you're looking for angle B, if you find out that angle B is, say, 50, then what you have to do is you have to come in here and say, okay, B prime could be, let's see here, 180 minus 50 is 130. So if you start with an acute and you end with an acute, you have to give me the ambiguous case, which is the little prime version. Okay? All right, let's keep going. It says, provide an example where the law of cosines must be used. Now, you've got two things. You can tell me that I give you three sides. You can do it that way, or you can actually, make up an example. I'm just coming up with some numbers. That right there, where you're looking for A. I don't know. Or your side angle side. Maybe you've got 15 and this is 57 and this is 21. Those are the cases where law of cosine must be used. You do not have to know both. Pick one. I think the easiest one to remember is all three sides. If I give you all three sides, you have no choice. You have to use law of cosines. Okay, now we're going to roll into the law of sines. It does say just find this one particular thing, but in all honesty, on these problems, I was a little bit on the tricky side because I gave you angle A, angle B, and little c. You do not have a complete ratio. You have to find angle C before you can ever get started. But I gave you two angles, so do 180 minus 39 minus 42, and you will come up with 99 degrees. But you have to have that complete ratio before you can get started. So you can do sine of C over C equals, and then since you want A, you've got to do sine of A over A. So we've got sine 99 over 47, and then sine of 39 over little a. So now it's into, let's cross multiply. We've got A sine 99. And by the way, this sine 99, that's a value. That 99 goes with the sign. The sign of that. Here, the 47 is separate from the sine 39. So if it helps you to think, to wrap that up in your parentheses, because I know some of you boo-booed on your quiz, because when you got to this part, you didn't divide by sine of 99, you divided by 99. Makes a huge difference. So make sure that you actually divide by sine 99. It makes all the difference in the world. Now, when you type that, type 47 times sine 39, enter, divided by sine 99. And you're going to get 29.9 or 30. 30 will be just fine. There you go. All right. Same thing on this one. I don't know what was in my head, but I was just being I guess I was just being mean. You've got to find angle C. So do 180 minus 41 minus 57, and you will come up with 82 degrees. Now you have a complete ratio. You have to have a matching angle and a matching side in order to use law of sines. So I'm just going to skip straight into it. Sine of 82 for big C matches with little c, which is 52. All right, since I want little b, I need sine of big B. Big B is 57. Okay, now I'm going to put little b down there. Cross multiply. My ends, for some reason, just won't write. Okay, and keep in mind, this is all one thing now. So you're going to divide by sine 82. Sine 82. With or without the n, huh? So type in the top, hit enter, type in the bottom, divided by the bottom. It should come out to be 44. Make sure your calculator's in degrees when you do this. It should, oops, that's not degrees. That's like inches or something. My bad. That's a side. Okay. Next ones. On number 3, it would be nice if you notice that I'm giving you one acute angle. That's the reason that I asked you that question earlier. When do you look for an ambiguous case? I gave you one angle, and that booger is acute. So you need to be on your toes, and you need to be watching out, okay? So sine of 67, he matches with 18. Okay, I'm looking for big B. So sine of big B over 20. All right, let's cross multiply. 20 sine 67, 18 sine big B. All right, now the 18, he's out front, so he's just a plain old 18. So that goes, that goes. Now you're going to type the whole top, get an answer, divided by 18. Now when you do that, something weird will happen. You're going to get this, or at least this is what popped up on my calculator. If you remember earlier on in the test, I asked you, I think the very first question, or in this review, I asked you, what is the range of sine and cosine? And we said that the range of sine and cosine was between -1 and 1. We have a problem with this number. It is over the range. So, you have no solution. Your sides here do not form a triangle. It's one of those times where basically you have this right here, and he didn't fall down. All right, I'll catch y'all on the next video, okay? But this is no solution because it was over 1.